Hi, welcome to the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Shelley Whitehead. Thank you so much for joining us. And we are here because there's some amazing people out there, businesses, organizations who are supporting us, and we would like to thank them right now. So let's give a big shout out to our premier supporters. They are City of Owatonna, Express Employment Professionals, and Owatonna Public Utilities. Also a big thank you to our primary supporters. They are Amy Swain Hearing Centers, Brookdale Senior Living, Sterling House in Clarebridge, and Little Theater of Owatonna. And we wouldn't be here without our interlude supporters. They are Abraham Consulting Technologies, Bremer Bank, Brenda Bednar Mortgage Office, Glenn Meager and Tim Thomas of the Brick Meager Funeral Home and Medford Funeral Home, Carlson Branstad and Company CPAs, ERA Gillespie Real Estate, Fairview Animal Medical Center, Horizon Eye Care Professionals, Owatonna Business Incubator, Owatonna Foundation, Snap Fitness, Steele County Historical Society, Steele County Transitional Housing, the Third Hand Incorporated Video Productions, and TPS Insurance. Thank you to those organizations and groups who've made us possible. And we'd love for you to join us on this great adventure we call the Owatonna Today Show. If you'd like to be a supporter, all you have to do is call Leanne Alt. She's at 390-5751, and she'll be glad to give you all the information you need to become a part of the Owatonna Today Show team. Stick with us. We're talking about BrewFest and CulturFest, as well as Lenten Lunches, right after this.
Hi, I'm Dr. Beth Giltvet.
And I'm Dr. Nick Vincelli of Horizon Eye Care.
We want you to see what you love and love how you see. We're proud sponsors of the Owatonna Today Show.
I needed more than just another dead-end job. I wanted a career, so I expressed myself.
With the kids off to college, I decided it was time for me to go back to work and express myself.
Express got me in touch with some really great companies. Now I'm on my way to a great career.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today.
And we're back with the Owatonna Today Show. In studio, I do have with me Mike Jensen and Doug Holmes. Gentlemen, hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for joining us today.
It's great to be here.
We're going to have you introduce yourself first, so we'll start with you, Mike.
I'm Mike Jensen, both with the Cultural Diversity Network as well as the Steele County Historical Society.
Thank you for being here.
Doug Holmes. I'm a brewer, so I'm here to represent what we do. My background is quality engineering and quality management for various industrial companies in Owatonna, and now I've transformed back into an artist, and I have work in 6 galleries and 1 jewelry store around Minnesota.
And what is your work?
I do primarily wood, but I also work in precious metals and stone, but everything from jewelry to furniture, although a lot of the smalls, a lot of brewing and wine related. I do bottle stoppers, bottle openers, corkscrews, and coasters and that kind of stuff with wine corks. And
so you've got a theme going in your life.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, we're going to start talking with you first because we want to find out, how many years have we been doing CulturFest, BrewFest?
That's a really good question. I want to say about 6 years. Initially, it started out, CulturFest did the project on its own, and we went to various countries. We did German Fest, British BrewFest, and then Irish BrewFest. And then came the opportunity to join up with the Steele County Historical Society to do a joint effort at their facility, at the Historical Society, or the New History Center, and turned it into Worlds of Flavor. So with that, we provide a lot of different opportunities for folks to taste various foods from around the world, as well as then the homebrew we brought on at that time as well, and being able to judge and evaluate homebrew.
Why is it so important for us down here in southern Minnesota to be opened and experience these different cultures?
Well, I think part of it is each of us have our own heritage and background that we bring to the table, and it's nice to be able to share those with others and share some of the food specialties and things that are unique to each of us. It's a great learning opportunity. I know I'm looking forward to something new that I've never tried before. It's a Norwegian dessert, and it's kind of like a waffle, but it's in the shape of a heart, and they put jams on it, and so they're providing that for the Norwegian dessert.
Okay.
You know, everything from that to sambusa, which is phenomenal. It's kind of a crumbled meat inside of a bread dough or whatever that's deep fried. So it's a very good good tasting food as well.
Where's that country is that one from?
That would be from Sudan.
Okay. And what other countries will be represented through the food?
We have a variety of different ones. Germany, we'll have the bratwurst on the pretzel roll with the red cabbage again. We'll have Mexico with chicken flautas, rice and beans. We have Sudan, as I talked about, with sambusa. And we are doing an American flair. We're going to have the choice of either a vegetarian chili or a meat chili or a beef chili. From France, we're doing chocolate mousse. That'll be good. Ireland, we're doing a potato and bacon soup. Anybody that was at Irish BrewFest will remember that soup because we're bringing back the chef and the soup because, oh my gosh, it was to die for. Middle East, we're going to do falafels, and then we're also doing baklava from Greece. So a variety of wonderful stations. There'll be lots to eat. The committee has actually been working already, preparing some of the food and getting it ready, for the evening. So having lots of fun with that.
How many people did you have last year?
I want to say we were somewhere around 260, 270. 300 is kind of our max top, so we're hoping that we're going to get there this year. I know we're only a week out, and ticket sales have gone very, very well this year, and so we're super excited.
Where would they be able to pick them
Well,
up?
they can get them a variety of different places. You can get them from any of the committee members. You can get them from the Historical Society. You can get them Triumph Graphics, Kotke Jewelers, or if you go to culturefest.org without the E in the middle, there's an icon up in our header. Just click on that and you can get your tickets online.
Oh, easy, yeah.
So
along with the food, of course, we're having the BrewFest, and this is an opportunity for people to taste home brews and judge them. And we actually have a past winner with us, don't we?
He is the defending champion of the People's Choice Award 2 years running. So this is the third year. Is he going to do it?
We'll find out. So tell me a little bit, Doug, how did you begin brewing? And was it in your garage or your basement?
The basement, and probably goes back almost 20 years ago. Been doing it, and home brewing has a history that goes back way beyond that. I mean, our founding fathers, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, were brewers. Through the illegal brewing during Prohibition, and actually, the interesting fact, home brewing after Prohibition, they legalized winemaking, but forgot to legalize beer making.
Oh.
So that did not get signed until the late 70s by President Jimmy Carter. So everybody in the 60s and early 70s was still brewing beer illegally. It's a fun hobby. You get to experiment with a lot of flavors. There's a freshness that isn't available in commercial beers. Very many different profiles of beer. There's lots of hops. I actually grow 2 varieties of hops. That's kind of my little different niche. So I use my own hops in the beer that I make, some of them.
How many different varieties have you made?
Of beer?
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
I rarely brew the same thing twice.
Okay.
So I'm always experimenting, and that's the fun part of it. It's a process, and you can do it very simply, or you can get very elaborate and have bigger brewing kettles and do all grain mashes. But there's a lot of kits available that where you've got a liquid malt and yeast and a simple fermenter, and that's really all you need to get started.
When last year, what was the brew that you won with?
Last year, I had several brews there, and Oktoberfest, and kind of a cerveza, a Mexican-style lighter beer. And I believe maybe a wheat.
Did you have the pumpkin last year?
No.
Someone did.
No, so there, people bring all sorts of different flavors.
So this year, when you look at preparing for the next year, you've won and you still have this title to defend. How do you prepare for this next year to kind of top what you did the year before?
Oh, I just look for doing something different. Try something new, and there's all sorts of grains available. And as I said, there's more than 50 different varieties of hops to experiment with, and they all impart a little different flavor. So
you make it sound simple. Is it pretty simple, or is it? What is the process?
The process is boiling your wort, which is the malt mix, and you add hops and leave it ferment for 5 days to 2 weeks, depending on, the more complex it is, the longer it takes, and you might go to rack it off to a secondary fermentation. And then bottling or kegging, guys, the more elaborate setups, they may filter to make it absolutely clear, and then keg it and force carbonate it, where, you know, I would do kind of the traditional bottle or small keg conditioning, actually carbonating in the bottle. There you add some sugar mix or more malt, and then that reactivates the yeast and it carbonates right in the bottle.
When you get to go and have people taste your brews, do you get to give this kind of same talk every time?
There is a lot of that, a lot of sharing of information, which is great, educating people. One of the things that brewers have fun with is the naming conventions, you know, naming your brews, naming, you know, and since my last name is Holmes, I try to make all my references Sherlock Holmesian references. So,
so do you have a label, a specific label?
You know, I have a couple of logo things, but I don't get too carried away putting actual logos on bottles, but you might have Baskerville Bach or something of that nature. And, you know, I've named it Baker Street Irregular Brewing, which was where Sherlock Holmes was on Baker Street. So,
Mike, how many brewers do you have?
Well, so far we have 8 brewers lined up, I believe. Mark Sebring, Terrence Flynn, Gary Muckow, Doug, Brian Christensen, Max Schuwacher, Jason Cater, and Peter Cook. So we have them all lined up at this point, but I think we're still open to others. So, you know, feel free to, you know, reach out to us, visit the website, culturefest.org, and you'll find, you know, who to contact.
And it's a fun way, if you do like this and you've done it for a little bit, even if it's just a little bit in your home, bring it and get feedback from people.
Well, and it's great listening to the conversations. You know, as someone who's a novice who doesn't brew but loves to taste craft beers, that sort of thing, it's nice to have the conversations to understand what you're tasting and to gain knowledge. You know, that way. So, but people have a lot of fun even if they're not drinking at this event. We have a full, you know, cash bar with, you know, wines and other sodas, things like that. With all the food choices, the interaction, what we really find is a lot of people enjoy coming as groups. They bring, you know, lots of their friends together. It's one of those events where there really isn't a lot of interruptions into your evening. You can just enjoy your company. We will have some fundraising opportunities with some auction items, but it's you know, various craft brews we'll have available, as well as some of the food items. So,
and you can also get admission to the Coming of Age 1968 traveling exhibit. That's
free
right there. So how much are tickets?
Tickets are $25,
including all that food and
all the food,
the tasting.
all the tasting. And then there's a cash bar available for anything beyond that.
And when is the event?
The event is Friday, February 20th, 1 week from today.
Yay! Thank you, gentlemen. It was a pleasure talking to you. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Don't let the cold winter weather stop you from exercising. Keep up your fitness program at the West Hills Tennis and Fitness Center. We offer a variety of different membership packages available on daily, monthly, and yearly basis. We also have a variety of programs and services to help the newest of members get started and to help those who have been around for a while improve on what they are doing. The Tennis and Fitness Center participates in insurance reimbursement programs with a variety of different insurance providers that could make you eligible for up to $20 credit each month. For more information about the West Hills Tennis and Fitness Center, call us at 444-4290.
Amy Swain Hearing Centers is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Dr. Amy Swain, and I want everyone to hear better.
Hi, I'm Brenda with the Mortgage Office of Brenda Bednar, aligned with American Mortgage and Equity Consultants, where closings feel right from the beginning. I'm a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hello, I'm Sean McNulty. And I'm Deb Gillard with Brookdale Senior Living, Sterling House, and Clarebridge of Owatonna. And we are a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
And welcome back. It's time to talk about the St. Paul's Episcopal Church Lenten Lunch Ladies. Wow, that's a lot.
That's a
very, very big name. Ladies, if you wouldn't mind, we're going to start with introductions. So we'll start with you.
My name's Francy Hall, and I'm the administrator for St. Paul's Episcopal Church.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Myrtle Brittain. I am currently the president of the women's group at St. Paul's.
Now, Myrtle, you have done some history fact-checking for us.
I have.
How long, from what you found out, how long has the Lenten Lunches been going on at the church?
Well, in the book that I have, they say 1962, but Francy found some other information that goes back earlier than that. In the beginning, the clergy in town were the speakers at each of the lunches. And I think in the beginning it probably was a very simple soup and sandwich type of thing. It's evolved now into
something quite
something more than just soup and.
So why have the Lenten lunches? What is the purpose behind the church?
It was to be an ecumenical service during Lent, during the weekday. And they thought that they could get people from work to come and have a nice lunch, hear a speaker talk about something related to the community, and then have lunch. And we're done by 1. They can leave, so it's just your lunch hour if you're working downtown.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people who have come for many years. They make it a special point to come all the time. Some work, some don't. It's just one of those happy times for those people. It's maybe the only time they see some of them during the year, so they sit at the same tables and talk and have a good time.
So this has been going on for quite a while, and you said
Yes.
that it's changed a little bit. How has it changed?
Well, we no longer have a clergyman that speaks every week. We have people from the community. This year the theme is Inspired to Serve. And so the people who speak will talk about what inspired them to serve in various capacities in the community and what they have done to fill that need.
Okay,
for
so
them.
the speakers have changed.
Yes, and the lunch has changed. We now have a casserole or hot dish and salad, some nice hot breads, and a dessert.
And you mentioned that one of the things that your church does is through the group that you're the president of, is you have the ladies break up into 6 different groups.
We have 6 called coffee committees. They're responsible for coffee after church 2 months out of the year, and then anything else that goes on during the month they are. If there's a funeral, that committee's responsible to get whatever the people need for that particular thing. If there's a special speaker comes, maybe we had one recently from Minneapolis, and they provide coffee and cookies and whatever is needed for that. And it all works out really well. Almost every woman in the church is on on one of the committees. So we don't have a great big number to draw sums. So we finally get all of them involved.
And so each one will take a week and work through
Yes.
that. Having been on the committee for a while yourself, what kind of camaraderie does it create between you and the other ladies of your church?
Well, if you're new, we get to know you, and you get to know us, and you get to know what we do and how we feel about things. And if you're been there a long time, I first came in '72, so I think it's just, you can change committees and get to know another group of people if you want to, and everybody seems to enjoy it. And when we ask, would you like to belong on a committee, the answer is always yes.
So it seems like a really great way to serve your church too, to be a part of this, and your community through these Lenten lunches.
And actually, the profits we make on the Lenten lunches are turned back to local charities.
Okay.
And this year, our charity will be the Lily Sparrow House.
Okay, well, and I want to talk to you about that, Francy.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about this year's fundraiser. It's not a fundraiser, Lenten Lunches.
Yeah, it is. It's both a fundraiser and it's just a lovely ecumenical service for the community, beyond all faiths. Very interesting speakers and topics from the community.
And so this year, she mentioned what the theme was. Do we know who the speakers will be?
We do. So the theme is Inspired to Serve, and we have a wealth of people in our community who serve the community in many capacities. Some of the speakers include the first speaker, which is Julie Anderson. She is the Executive Director of Transitional Housing, which serves people who are homeless in this community. I actually serve on the board, as do several of the people from our church. We have also Vonda White, who started Camp Pillsbury. So that's going to be exciting for people who don't know what's going on at Pillsbury. She's going to be there to talk about that. Jack Miller, he is somebody who helped start the Cultural Diversity Network years ago, and he's also the co-owner of the Lily Sparrow House. His wife actually deeded that house for this purpose, to help homeless women and children. So that's why we're going to benefit them.
Okay.
We also have, who's the other one? We have
Anna Marie Beck.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Anna Marie Brick, who is also very involved in the community. I understand that she and many others work providing meals at St. Joe's for the community, as well as doing other things that we'll get to hear about. And we have two amazing speakers that I'm really looking forward to, which are seniors at Owatonna High School. And they are great speakers. I really encourage you to come every week. It starts February 18th, and it goes for 6 weeks during Lent, every Wednesday, starting at 12:10, ending at 1 o'clock. The speaker speaks from 12:10 to 12:30, and from 12:30 to 1 is lunch served by and prepared by our moms and grandmas. So if you want some seriously good home cooking, Myrtle and the other ladies know how to cook. And it's only $5.
That's a really good deal.
I mean, seriously, if you can give more, that's good too.
You won't say no.
But it's only $5 if that,
Yeah.
And our final speaker is Michael Tippett, who is our rector, our priest at St. Paul's Episcopal Church. And what many people don't know, and I'm going to out him about this, he is, he's actually an officer from the British Dragoons.
He's a
the Scots Dragoons, and he knew Princess Diana. He's met the Queen. I'm sorry, Michael, but I'm telling everybody this. He is extremely interesting, and he's a great speaker and a really good priest. We just love him at church.
So this is an opportunity, really, again, but I make sure everybody understands it's not just for your church.
No,
this is an interdenominational opportunity for people to come and hear inspirational speakers from people, and again, with this focus of inspiring change. Was that
inspired to serve? So
Inspired
these are
to
people who all, from within, are lit with this desire to serve others in the community. And every year people are surprised by the caliber of the people who are speaking. They're from right in our community, and they're amazing. And I would really encourage everybody to come and hear them.
Do they need to call in advance at all to let people know?
No.
Just show up. It's open to everybody in the community.
We prepare for around 70 people, and that's about our average over the 6 weeks. Sometimes a lot more, sometimes not so many. Probably on Ash Wednesday, a smaller group, because lots of churches have services on that day. But then, and I usually sit and sell tickets, and I recognize the people who come year after year after year, and if you're not there, they want to know where you are. So it sort of comes to be a pretty family affair. We like to think of it as food for the body and food for the soul.
Well, Myrtle, I was going to ask you personally, having been a part of this for a few years now, what is one of the things that you walk away with? What are one of the lessons that you walk away with from these events?
I always love the speakers. They always have a fascinating story to tell. And I also enjoy working with them, talking to them, and a lot of them will sit long after 1 o'clock and drink coffee and talk to each other. So it's a lot of people come there and they make a nice outing of it, and that's a wonderful thing to know that you're serving their needs in that way.
And Francy, for you, what has been one of the impactful things of being a part of this event?
Oh my gosh, it just reaffirms, sometimes you've got bad days and you're just not feeling very happy about the world, and then you go and you hear people from our community doing amazing things, telling really captivating stories, and it just kind of feeds your soul. And it's also food for thought. It's really, it's just good. It's good for mind, body, and spirit.
Remind me when they are again. Let's give them the dates again.
So starting on Wednesday, February 18th, that's Ash Wednesday from 12:10 to 1 o'clock. And every Wednesday thereafter for 6 services.
And where's your church located?
We are on the corner of Cedar and Mill. We're right behind the fire station, right next to the courthouse. We're the oldest continually existing church in Owatonna.
So come see it
Been around for a long time.
It's a beautiful church.
It's a beautiful old church,
And like you're saying, it's $5 for a great meal, home-cooked meal.
Home-cooked for
loving
mom and grandma.
hands.
Yes, loving and fun hands. You should see her dance around the kitchen.
Well, I'm paid. That'd be enough to pay for just for that. Ladies,
Come watch Myrtle dance.
There you go. Yeah. And then your rector speak, because that's, we're done. Okay.
Nice.
So ladies, thank you so much for
you're
your time.
welcome.
It's a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Hello, my name is Katie Marshall. A year ago, my family and I became homeless. We were scared and alone. Today, with the help of Steele County Transitional Housing and generous donors like you, my family and I are safely housed. I am working, going to college, paying my rent on time. My children have a warm bed to sleep in every night. My family and I are so grateful for this second chance. Please help others in need by donating to transitional housing today. Everyone deserves a safe place to live.
Every child needs a mentor, a positive role model. For me, that was my grandmother. For more than 110 years, Big Brothers Big Sisters has been making meaningful monitored matches between adult volunteers and children. And these positive relationships have direct and measurable impacts. Help a child realize his or her potential. Visit bigbrothersbigsisters.org.
And it's time for a look at some of your community service announcements. Get into the swing of Valentine's that evening and enjoy rich chocolates at the Owatonna Arts Center. Jive Ivan and the Kings of Swing will get you in the dancing mood, or you can just enjoy the music of the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Wine and beer will be available for purchase. Doors open at 6:30 and the music begins at 7. Tickets are $10 for Arts Center members, $15 for non-members, and they can be purchased at the Arts Center, Cotkeys, or at the door. Riverbend Nature Center staff invites adults and young adults to come out and learn about land restoration techniques with professionals from the Landscaping Restoration Company on February 18th at 3 p.m. The Nature Center will learn restoration techniques, practice implementing those techniques, and then hopefully take them home to utilize them on your property. If you want more information, you can contact Caitlin Moeller. She's the education coordinator, 507-332-7151, or visit www.rbnc.org. The Steele County Historical Society and the CulturFest Committee are pleased to announce their third annual joint event on Friday, February 20th at the History Center. We heard all about that, and that you can get tickets for the CulturFest at Triumph Graphics, Cotkeys, or at the History Center. That event is again on February 20th, and the evening starts at 5 p.m. with a social hour and the home brew contest featuring local home brewers. The Steele County Historical Society is pleased to welcome Ann Cummins Peterson, to the Museum Director of the Minnesota State Public School Orphanage Museum, on Thursday, February 26th at 7 p.m. in the Wenger Room of the History Center. The subject will be the child-saving movement. Peterson will be talking about how the Minnesota State Public School for dependent and neglected children came to Owatonna. Admission for the lecture is free for History Center members and $2 for non-members. And it's the Hometown Sampler coming up. This is happening on March 6th, as well as Saturday, March 7th, and Sunday, March 8th. And they're going to be having Bad Tangerines, the Gogs, Hot and Bothered, 5 Mile Band. It's a great opportunity. So make sure you make time in your schedule for the Hometown Sampler concert series. I want to thank you so much for joining us right here on the Owatonna Today Show. We'll be back next week where we'll be talking to the Little Theater of Owatonna, some of their actors for their play, 39 Steps. We'll see you then.